host. This is Cody.
And this is Jacen.
And today we have a really fun topic we're going to talk about. And we're going to talk about season 2, the first few episodes of Vox Machina.
Yes, we are, and it's very exciting because one thing I like about it is they're releasing 3 episodes a week, so it's not
Yeah,
like one episode, one episode, one episode, one episode.
gives you a chance to binge something.
Oh yeah, and especially since and it makes sense since each episode is like 20 minutes.
Yep.
So, but
But
yeah, we're
before we get
excited
into
to
all
talk about
that, yeah, we're very
it.
excited about it. But before we get into it, we do have a few announcements. Jason, if you want
uh,
to go first.
Yep. For my main announcements that I have is I have finished my short story. It's called Tanshi and the Goshin. I got the audio done and it's up on my website, at least the sample is. I will be uploading the full thing here in a little bit, but I will go ahead and play the sample that I have for you guys. Let me just go ahead and hit share. Okay. Can you hear it now? Wait, can you hear it? Tanshi and the Goshin,
Yes.
written and narrated by Jason Wiley. Tanshi, son of Tensai, delayed going home. He was sent into the village to sell his father's crafts. Being the oldest of his 4 siblings, he was the one tasked to go and make the long walk down into the village. Tanji didn't mind the walk most of the time, but winter is just around the corner. The trees that were once a luscious green and pink just a couple weeks ago have now turned yellowish and red. The wind is starting to bite through his clothes, with a chill that coursed through his body. Tanshi brought his travel cloak that his mother made for him. The green cloak was worn and bore the mark of his family's name upon the clasp around the neck. Tanshi made his trek down into the village early that morning. Luckily, he didn't need the cart. The toys his dad prepared for the kids in the village could fit inside his pack. The trek down to the village took him 4 hours with breaks along the way. Tanshi felt anxious during the trip down. He hoped to finish his secret project for his family before winter. Once winter hits, Tanshi and his family would be secluded up in their home for weeks. Tanshi didn't know the next time he was going to be able to head into the village. They had their food stores ready for the coming winter months, but Tanshi had a surprise in store. Tanshi was building a garden for his family. It was a way for him and his family to harvest some extra food to help them last through the winter. Tanshi thought about the look on his family's face when he would show them all of his hard work. Tanshi made it to the village by the afternoon. The town was bustling. It seemed like everyone within 50 leagues was in town today. Tanshi didn't expect there to be such a big turnout. Was there a festival going on that he forgot about? That was right. Sakimi was this week. How could he forget? His siblings would be excited to come down in a couple of days when the festival was in full swing. Tanshi made his way through the crowd. He eventually made his way over to the stall his family used to sell their goods. The stall was fairly small. There were a few shelves for Tanshi to place some of the items on, a chair for him to sit in, and inside his bag was a couple of coin purses so he could trade. Tanshi reached into the bag to pull out some of the toys so he could start lining the shelves. It didn't take much time till someone came to the stall. "Hello? Are you open?" Tanshi turned around to see a young girl standing at the edge of the stall, looking between him and the horse that Tanshi put up. Tanshi smiled. "Yes, welcome. Is there anything I can help you with?" The girl grinned and walked over to the horse and held it. It was of fine craftsmanship, skillfully crafted with fine details carved into the wood. Tanshi knelt down. "Want to know something?" Tanshi said conspiratorially. A wide grin came across her face and she nodded her head enthusiastically. Tanshi reached out his hand, gesturing for the horse. She placed the horse in his hand. Tanshi took it and made a show of examining it closely. "Well, you see, this is no ordinary horse. It's a magical horse." "Magic?" she said enthusiastically. Tanshi nodded. "Yes, a magical horse," Tanshi said with a grin and let out a breath. The horse's mane started to move with the gust of wind. The horse then shook to life. The girl's eyes lit up when she saw the horse come to life. Whoa! She exclaimed in amazement. Tanshi smiled. He loved seeing kids' faces light up when he breathed life into it. The girl looked up at Tanshi, and Tanshi smiled. What do you think? Tanshi asked. The girl giggled and covered her face. Tanshi took the horse and put it on the podium. The girl approached. How much for the magical horse? The girl asked. Tanshi thought about it. Well, a normal magical horse would cost a solid gold mon. But since she has taken a liking to you, I think a silver mon should do the trick. The girl smiled and gave Tanshi a silver mon. Tanshi took the coin and handed the horse to the girl. He crouched down and looked her in the eyes. What is her name? She looked at him and cocked her head to the side. Name? Yeah, she deserves a name, doesn't she? She looked at him thoughtfully. Mari, she said matter-of-factly. Tanshi nodded as if that was the right answer. Okay then. To bring her to life, all you have to do is call her name, Tanshi said as he handed her the horse. Give it a try. She looked at him, then at the horse. Mari! And on cue, the little horse came to life as it did before. She smiled gleefully, then ran off giggling. Tanshi smiled. He was happy to get to work, and soon the shopping square was full of customers. Tanshi did the same little show for all the kids that came into the store, and Tanshi was able to make quite a bit. At the end of the day, he earned 20 silver mon. Not bad in a day's work. Most vendors make around 8 to 10 a day. But since this is so close to the festival, Tanshi was able to double his profits. As such, he decided that he earned himself a little treat before making his long trek home. Once Tanshi gathered... I think that's a good enough sample for that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, a little bit more polished than me just sitting here and reading it, but...
Yeah, no, that turned out great.
Yeah,
I'm not
so...
gonna lie, I was in there just enjoying listening to it. You cut it off. I was like, why'd you stop?
I mean, I can't keep going if you really want to.
I'll have to take a listen though. I'll go to your site and actually listen to it.
Yeah, it's just, again, it's under like my voice acting stuff since, yeah, it's a voice acting short story.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
But yeah, so that's kind of it for my little announcement.
I am on my end. It has very little to do with our main topics. But tomorrow is something I'm very excited about. It's called the Daymar Rally, and it's an event inside of Star Citizen.
Ooh.
Yes. So it's a race. It's a land vehicle race that takes place
Okay.
on the moon of Daymar. There's three different. I was talking about this earlier, and I can't remember what it is. Three different types of the race, basically. They have a specific word for it. But the first one is using bikes, and so hover bikes and such.
Okay, so it's like a triathlon?
No, so whatever people have, they're in this specific race. So there's three different types of the race. The first one is bikes, the second one is rovers, and the third one, or buggies, and the third one is trucks.
Okay.
So the bike one, by far the fastest, takes about an hour to get through all the checkpoints and everything to get to the far side. The buggy one, which most people use, is called the Cyclone. Takes about 5 hours. For the trucks, it's about 10 to 12 hours.
Dang.
Yes, but this is called the dirtiest race in the verse. And the reason for that is because what starts off as already a pod racing type event, where people are set up all along the route, just not set like purposefully or not by the team. These are just random people that, hey, the Daymar rally is going on, so they come in and try and pirate everything, or set up like Tuscan Raiders and take sniper shots at them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and so they have a full team to try and protect them while they're driving. But after 3 minutes, weapons are allowed. So after 3 minutes, you can kill your competitors.
Dang, that is cool.
Yeah, so it's gonna be streaming on Twitch. Let me pull up exactly who it is for anyone that wants to see. I mean, it'll be done by the time that this airs, but
Yeah.
at the same time, you'll be able to find the videos of it.
Yeah, they
I
should have like a
am,
video recorded of it.
yeah, and a lot of people who participate in it record it and post theirs. I am.
Hmm.
Let's see here. This is through. Oh my gosh, Twitch. Atmo Esports. I am. Yeah, so it's twitch.tv/Atmo Esports. I
Okay.
am. They also do other races. This is just my personal favorite.
Hmm.
It's awesome. It's so much fun.
Yeah, no,
But
it sounds really cool.
yeah, I think you'd enjoy watching it. Honestly, it's especially the bike and the. My favorite is the Cyclones, the buggy one.
Yeah.
It's a little bit longer, but it's by far by far my favorite. Heats. No, I don't think it's Heats. Yeah,
Stages.
either way.
Yeah.
No, because it's each one's individual. Okay, I'm gonna look this up. This is gonna bug me. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. Okay, so
Divisions.
vision. Oh, divisions.
There's
Oh,
three different
oh.
divisions.
Okay, okay. That
That makes
that
more
makes more
sense.
sense. Because to me, I was like, yeah, you're just describing kind of a triathlon with three different vehicles. Like one goes to another, goes to another. If it's divisions, that makes more sense. Okay.
Yes, they all start at the same time, spread out on 8 different servers, and so like there might be 2 heats in the bike division, depending on how many people are there.
Gotcha.
And so yeah, they all start at the
Okay.
same time, and just one of them ends about 10 hours after the first one, a different one.
It's like, all right, next heat.
Yup.
Next 12 hours.
Yup. Oh, that's awesome. But anyways, I
All
think
right.
that's my only announcement.
Okay. I guess like would also kind of fall under like sci-fi news.
Yeah.
Fantasy news. Again, just more Wizards of the Coast stuff. They've updated it to 1.2. Uh, although there was one false article that was getting spread around that I was like, if they do this, they just lost their entire fan base.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that one?
I think so, but go ahead.
D&D Beyond was going to charge $30 for their subscription, and with it, you would get an AI DM. Get
Okay.
an AI DM. If you didn't pay for it, any of the homebrew content would not be available to you.
Wow.
Like it was very much like, yeah, we're screwing our creators kind of level. D&D Beyond actually went on tour. Is like, no, we did not say that. That is not true at all. Don't get me wrong, Wizards of
Yeah.
the Coast is still in hot water just because it's very much like a bad relationship after you caught someone cheating and you decided not to pull away. You're like, I
Hmm.
don't trust anything you say. You have to rebuild our trust. And that is where
Yeah.
Wizards of the Coast is at currently, is they're trying to rebuild that bridge, which nobody's having it.
Yep. Yep. I've already seen people posting videos about why Pathfinder is easier to use and people trying to push Pathfinder more now.
Yeah, everybody's like, all right, D&D has been being a dick. We're jumping over to Pathfinder,
Yep.
which honestly, like, I can't blame them.
Yeah.
Like, no one can blame them.
Yeah.
It's
I think
just,
people are acting a little hastily at the same time. I
oh
mean,
yeah,
from a economic standpoint and from a bit like a business standpoint, I understand what they're coming from with it, and it was an idea that they're presenting. They want to
hmm
see how it would fare, and they saw the backlash. Like, hey, nope, we're not doing it then.
yeah. No, for them, and actually, this was the thing that most of the community was upset about is they were trying to do this behind closed doors.
Ah,
Like
gotcha.
they were trying to not let anybody know about this, and they were going to try to roll it out anyway.
Yeah.
Like there were NDAs involved. There was a lot of stuff where they're like, yeah, no, we're not going to let the public find out. Public found out, and they went with pitchforks.
Yep.
Like, yeah, no. So it's just this is where being transparent about this kind of stuff would serve everybody.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, there is a level where, okay, we're going to release something. We don't know yet, okay? We do not want to get hopes up. We do not want to get stuff spoiled, which is why, like, in the video game industry, like, when I was a QA tester, I had to sign an NDA because it was my job. I would play the video game. I would actually play this, the dumb
Yep.
thing, and I was not allowed to discuss it.
Yeah.
I could do broad terms, like, it's fun. I could say stuff like that. It's like, from what I've played, it's fun.
Yeah. But you can't
That's
say anything
it.
else, pretty much.
Anything beyond that, I couldn't. I was legally bound.
Yeah.
Like, there's a time and place for NDAs. When it comes to that kind of legal documentations, after you do a first draft, send that crap public.
Yeah.
But anyway, so other than that, I think we're ready to dive on into our key segment.
Yeah, let's jump in. Critical Role.
Yeah, Legends of Vox Machina Season 2 released as of today, January 20th, but they are releasing it, I believe, on midnights of Thursday, so that's actually when I believe both of us watched it, was before bed last night.
Yeah. Yep. I watched it. So yeah, I watched it last night. I am one of the perks of my son not sleeping through the night is I can sit up at night and watch random shows.
And with me being a night owl and me working at 4 o'clock today instead of my 9 a.m. shift, I could
Oh
stay up and
man.
watch it too.
Yeah. You. So,
So
overall impressions. What do you think?
I freaking love it. It is, it's just so good. Like, I only have one to two critiques in the entire thing, but it's one that I completely understand and I know why they did it. I can't. It's not even like a negative. It's just more like, if you want to know more or know the original, go ahead and watch Critical Role. Watch the original show.
Yeah, I'm guessing they skipped over some things, and that's
When we get to episode 2, I'll talk more about that because it deals with Zara and Cash and everything with the Slayer's take.
yeah,
But episode 1, okay, their animation, it got an upgrade.
it did.
Like, don't get me wrong, when we see the Sphinx in episode 2, their 3D animation attempt is still there, but the
Yeah,
dragons, that it
they
was
did
just,
really good with the dragons.
it was fantastic with the opening to scene of them destroying Iman, the Chroma Conclave coming in, just wreaking havoc. And by the way, huge spoilers, so if you haven't seen this, go watch it.
Yeah.
Luckily, things
Yo,
I just said were in the trailer.
yes. Yo, yo. The Sphinx
But
wasn't, but
the Sphinx wasn't, but so that I'd say that was more of a teaser. Rest of this is spoiler. Like, it's all spoilers from
heavy
this point on.
spoilers. This is
Heavy,
yes.
heavy. We're breaking it down. All right, but yeah, the animation just looks phenomenal. I love how immediately, again, I know they can't say who it is, but I love the little aspect of the Raven Queen
Yes.
just pitched in because, yeah, I can't remember what were they calling her. I can't remember.
I am Goddess of Death.
Yeah, it
They
was,
used her titles, but they didn't
yeah.
specify who she was because those titles can be applied to multiple deities through many places.
Oh yeah, like, and actually, okay, real quick, back to the whole Wizards of the Coast thing. The actual gaming stuff is on the free to play market, but anything that's specific that could be copyright infringement, that they still have things tied to it. So that's why they use the Dawn Father or the Everlight instead of the
Mhm.
actual deity that they did in the game.
They still use Stormlord though.
Yes, because that one is broad enough to where it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I loved how immediately they brought in some, like how Vax is seeing the Raven Queen pop up. I'm like, oh, yes, I
Yes.
love this foreshadowing. This is something we didn't get in the tabletop, and it works great.
It does. It really does. Because I know how it ends.
Yeah.
I know how the first campaign ends. And so because of that, I already see it playing out and where it's starting. I'm like, oh man, it's exciting.
Oh no, dude. Actually, okay. So Megan hasn't seen any of this.
Okay.
While we were watching, I'm like, and I was at towards the end of episode 2. I was like, oh, I know where they're going to end it. I know where they're going to end it. Where they're going to end episode 3. They're jerks for doing it, but I love it nonetheless.
Yup. Oh, that was a good ending.
It was a good ending. I knew it was coming just because,
Yeah.
again, I saw the show. Again, as you know, I was a huge nerd for the show.
Yes.
But anyway, we're still in episode 1. We're still in it.
Yes. Episode 1 first. So starts off, recaps the previous ending, basically. Plays throughout it. Dragons come in, wipes everything out.
Oh, yeah. So, actually, one thing I have still the dragon is specifically the green dragon, the ancient green dragon.
Yes.
I looked at the monster manual. It is an almost 1-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
Like, it is just, they did so good.
They really did. I thought they did fantastic. They said the animation with it.
Oh, yeah.
Where they had the poison just like dripping down on everyone and they just melted.
Oh, yeah. The poison, like the acid, like both of those just working in concert. Oh, just so gory, so bloody, so
Really
messy.
gory.
And it was good.
Yes. I really enjoyed that. It felt, I mean, I knew that they weren't gonna die. It's obviously the main characters.
Yes.
I thought Gilmore might die. I was kind of surprised they didn't kill any of those other major NPCs and such.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that would have added more weight to it, honestly, and I feel like it was a little light because of that.
So, and this where I will kind of disagree with you is still at the end of it, Thordak and all of them still intimidating as all get out. Like you actually feel like these guys aren't ready to take them on yet. They're going to get their butts handed to them.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I didn't feel like they were ready to take them on. It was more that I didn't feel
there wasn't like any loss for them.
Yeah, and there wasn't any loss for them, and there wasn't any really. It didn't feel like there was a risk for them because they're the main characters and they're gonna make it out. I never felt that risk for those characters.
Yeah. But I'm just going to say, I love Vax and Gilmore. I love them so much. Is it sad that I ship those two more than Vax and Keyleth?
Probably not. They're really funny together.
Like for me, it's just I don't know why Keyleth gets on my nerves. Keyleth is just because I think that what I finally realized with Keyleth is just like she is a bad version of Katara.
Yes.
Yeah. Like she's trying to be innocent like Katara, but she's not. Like that is my big beef. Is she's so naive. That's what it is. It's that night. Yeah, how naive she is.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just it's what bugs me. And yet every single character there is just like, hey Keyleth. I'm freaking with Vex. Vex like, what the heck does everybody see in her?
Yeah. I can definitely see that.
But no, I love Vax and Gilmore just because Gilmore, he's got the good quip. Same with Vax. Like they're funny.
They are. I think they're really funny. I'm not gonna lie, kind of reminds me of all the quips that we would make.
Oh yeah.
And how people questioned our sexuality for a while.
And then we would hug and then get very, very provocative. Yep. That's just guy relationship though.
That's funny. Yeah.
So
let's see here. So then dragons come, they save Gilmore, get a few items.
They ransack his shop. Like he's just like, screw it, my shop's destroyed. Just take everything. I at least know it's in your hands.
Gone.
Yeah. And which, okay, this is one thing they changed, which I understand why. Does not mean I necessarily like it.
Okay.
Scanlan and the broom.
Okay.
When Scanlan takes the broom. So originally, this is actually so within this arc, they're gathering the vestiges of divergence.
Yes.
There is one that is near the Arashari. So at some point, I'm guessing we will actually be going to Keyless people.
Yeah.
During that moment in the tabletop, they're joined with another guest star. A guest star whose character's name is Fatty Arbuckle, and he's the one with the broom.
Oh, okay.
Vex does a sleight of hand and steals the broom from him, convincing him that she dropped it into magma. Like, it was this entire thing where everybody at the table was just like, Vex, what the heck? Which,
That's
again, I
fantastic.
understand why they didn't go that route, because
Yeah.
that would be more time, and making each episode, it cost them more money. And again, I understand it.
Yeah.
If
But
you
they
guys
still
want,
threw back to it.
yeah, it was still a nice throwback, because especially later on in the like final arc, Vexalia actually learns to shoot a bow on the back of the broom.
Oh, fun.
And actually, what Scanlan does is to add to it, he gives her a witch's hat, and then he casts an illusion to give her green skin.
That's fantastic.
Again, and that's on the tabletop show. So this is like the early foreshadowing to it. So I'm like, oh, the broom! There's the broom! And of course, Grog and the belt, which we've in episode 3, we see what that does.
Yes. Yep. Grabs the belt. Then there's a couple other items grabbed, but nothing
Yeah,
too
nothing.
major.
Although I thought it was funny with Percival's like, aha, a dragon slaying lance.
Lance.
Of course.
That was hilarious, and that was a great callback because he had introduced it when they first talked about fighting a dragon. So everyone
Yeah.
would be like, "Well, what about the lance?
What about the
If they
dragon
didn't
slaying
show
lance?
it." So I thought that was perfect to show that he's like, "Yes, we can grab this to fight with the," and then it's gone.
And then it gets crushed by a rock.
Yep.
like, like with everything within the show, I'm just like, Amazon, again, and it is on Amazon Prime. That's the sad part.
Yes.
It's just like, Amazon, this is how it's done. This is how it's done. Take notes.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, they make it through there, and then they teleport over to their house. They're
Yeah.
able to.
Gilmore teleports them using a stone. Refugees begin coming in at the gate, and then they evacuate everybody through the tree teleportation that Keela's able to do.
Yes, teleports over to Whitestone
Yep.
right as the dragon comes and is wiping everybody out.
Which, and again, in the actual tabletop, the dragon doesn't find their keep. It takes them like 3 days, but they get all the refugees through the tree.
Oh, nice.
Because basically what it is, like, because Keela can only keep it open, I want to say, for like 30 seconds.
Okay.
So that's why it's just like, okay, everybody that's going in this shift, ready, go. And so that's what it is. So it takes them 3 days to get
Yeah.
everybody through.
Nice.
And then on the 3rd day, I think that's when the dragon does kind of see it and begins, and it's flying towards them. I don't think it actually attacks them. But again,
Okay.
for an animation to create more suspense, create more
Yes.
everything, understand.
Yeah,
Makes it more interesting.
it does. It does. It was good. What do you think of when they first get to, what is it? What's that city called? Vasselheim?
Vasselheim.
Yes.
And that's
So,
where, and now we're getting into episode 2, because episode 1 ends with them leaving Whitestone through the tree.
Yeah. Yep.
Honestly, I like kind of the idea and design for Vasselheim.
Yeah.
Wasn't what I originally pictured in my head from the tabletop, but I do like it nonetheless.
I thought it was really beautifully done. I thought the city itself was really,
Yeah.
they went all out with how the city looks.
Yeah, I really like it. I really like kind of the again, Vasselheim. It's like Nordic for like the frost giants.
Yep.
So it makes, again, it makes perfect sense. Then I didn't have any notes until they got to the Slayer's Take. Just because
Okay.
everything with it was just like, it was a good story, it was propelling it forward.
Yeah.
That was funny how they came out of the tree and it's off the side of the cliff, because that's definitely a DM move. It's like, all right, you're taking a shot in the dark. You're going off of somebody's secondhand knowledge of a tree that's probably shifted in the last 50 years.
Yep. I thought that was perfectly done.
Yeah, this is like very much, you can still see like this is still D&D influenced, and you can see it's something like that where it's like it trickles down through. It's one of those where I'm like, I'm glad to see some consequences in it. This may be an animation. There is some, like, again, some unrealism to them.
Yeah.
Just because, like, Pike's actual armor, she actually has to carry it. Like that.
Oh, okay.
That's not until later, till they're actually getting ready to fight the Whispered One, that she gets
Okay.
armor that pops on, pops off.
Yeah, but it's nice to have it then, and
Yeah.
it's something iconic with her character, and so
Mm-hmm.
it help people remember.
Yeah, because actually in the tabletop, reason why it was iconic on the tabletop is because, as you know, it causes disadvantages in stealth.
Yes.
and
Uh,
and actually that was like my one small beep in episode 3, but we haven't gotten there yet.
yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, no real comments to
Okay.
tell the Slayer's take. So do you have anything up till that point?
Yeah. So when they met with the platinum,
The council?
yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of names. I can never remember them all, and I don't have my actual notes on me, so I'm doing it all based on memory today. But anyways, I with the council there, I thought it was really funny that they go on. Okay, tell us your problem. Well, so there's a great injustice. We'll just watch the water. Ignored
It's
this
like, oh
completely.
wait, you know what? We got this magical water. Show us in the instant replay.
Yup. And then it was just, okay, dragons. That could be a problem, but not our problem. Goodbye.
Which again,
Okay.
yes, absolutely. Like I personally liked it because again, you gotta think back in that time. Like
Oh
it's
yeah.
they didn't attack our city. We're prepared for this. Why weren't
Yeah.
they prepared?
Oh yeah. No, I completely agree. And I thought it was really well done, but I just thought it's hilarious. It was just, and it's for story's time. It was, or for the sake of time to propel the
Yeah.
story along. I am drinking a lot of caffeine, so I apologize. My words will get jumbled. This is the way my brain works.
Oh, dude,
So,
the ADHD brains here. We're the same. Actually,
oh
okay,
yeah,
I did remember one thing as they're getting
yes,
into the city.
yes. The
Them at the
bear
gate.
stays.
Yeah, the bears, like the bear, yeah. But no, when they're getting to the city, Parzival's like, all right, allow me to do diplomacy. The guy's like, yeah, no, if you want to go talk to him, just go up the hill.
Yo.
That was very much a deal. I'm just like, yeah, no, you don't need to roll persuasion for this. I just say you're there, what you're stating for, and we'll let you in.
Yup.
So, oh, I try to remember. There was one other funny thing. Oh yeah, G'day, bidet. It's the bidet.
Bidet.
That's where the bidet joke comes from.
Yes.
It's because like the way Matt said it, I believe in the tabletop, he like had a voice crack in it, so it sounded like bidet.
Yeah.
or no, or actually no, it was Grog and his 6
Grog
intelligence.
did it. Yep.
So it's
That's
like
what
G'day.
they.
He's like, did he say bidet?
Yep. I love, so after all that they end up at, oh, Grog splits off because
Yep,
he's easily
split the party.
distracted. Everyone else goes to the Slayer's take. I love Grog's theme, but I don't think we need to cover it at all. Simply because the way that when he comes back, this is all that people need to know. Is just what he says then. So let's do the Slayer's take, and then we'll just say what Grog tells them. I think that'd be perfect.
And this is actually where they did this different on the tabletop.
Okay.
Is everybody went to the Slayer's take. This is where I'll break it down. So the entire issue with the Slayer's take was it is an adventuring guild. So in the game, what Matt had them do is they actually all took a quest, but they split the party into 2 groups. So that way they could have 3 guest stars.
Oh, nice.
And that was Wilfred L,
Okay.
Cash,
Mm-hmm.
Zarya,
Mm-hmm.
and then they had Will Wheaton on the show.
Nice.
So they had those 3, but they split them up like I believe a majority went with Will Wheaton, and then whoever was left over went with Will and Zarya.
Okay.
So, and that's more on how they got into the Slayer's take. It's not till later, after they did a good chunk of the Vestiges of Divergence, where Grog meets the monk,
Okay.
and the entire party is with him,
Mm-hmm.
watching him go through this, and actually, and just like every single tabletop, when someone has a 1v1 battle, the entire party is trying to pitch in and help out.
Yup.
Just like, can I cast this spell? Can I do this? Can I do this underhandedly?
Yup.
So that's where it's like I understand why they did it this way. So that way Grog is going through his challenge as the party at Vox Machina is going through the Sphinx challenge.
Yeah.
Like I understand why they did it that way. It's just again, want to watch the entire thing, watch those episodes on Critical Role.
Yes.
But again, it's not a critique I have. It's more of an understanding. I know why they did it. This is what originally it was.
Yeah. Well,
it's
that's
a way
cool.
they adapted it well.
Yeah, and since and keep in mind for all the listeners, all two of you guys, I'm joking, but we don't have any. I'm joking. I'm sorry.
This
I'm
ain't
sorry.
live.
But with it, because it is a TV show, everything in this years long campaign is condensed.
Oh yeah.
And so they have to hit all the major themes, those things that develop these characters. Because a lot of the characters, they'll have a moment and then nothing for a long time, and then they'll have a big development and then nothing for a long time, because that's what happens. But in this as a show, they just try and propel everything along in the most effective way. And I thought this was such an effective way. So while
Mm-hmm.
they're at they're at the Slayer's take, they meet up with their old friends, which is Zarya and
I say
what was
mostly it was Zara. Zara was like the
Zara?
old friend that Vex had a
Yes,
had a friend had a connection with.
yes. And then they make a new friend in Cash.
Which, dude, Will Friedle again. I loved his character on Critical Role, and I just love the fact that he's in this.
Yeah,
And it's and just okay, just curious. You know what Will Friedle's been in, right?
tell me.
I'm pretty sure I showed you this, but Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
He is Eric Matthews, most popularly
Oh yeah,
known for
yeah.
the Feeney call. Mr. Feeney!
Phoenix.
Feeney! So yeah, that's him. He also voices Batman and Batman Beyond, the animated series.
Yeah.
So the fact that he has the character he has, oh, it's so good. And actually, when it comes to them in the Slayer's take and the tabletop, they're all
Yeah.
friends. Like they're like, I don't trust you at first, but we're going to work together, and that's how we become friends. None of this underhanded BS, but I like it because it's also a good story point.
Yeah. So let's see here. What else is he in? He is in Transformers, the animated series, Thundercats. He's Ron Stoppable and Kim
Yeah, that's
Possible.
right. He's Ron.
Yup.
Ron and Kim.
He's Cash. Let's see here.
Yeah, he's in
He's
a
in
lot
My
of
Little
stuff.
Pony.
Oh, jeez. Will, how dare you fall? It's okay.
uh,
Cash is
Big
here
Hero
to redeem
6.
you.
He plays a character in Big Hero 6, the TV series.
Okay.
Try to see if there's anything other major ones real quick.
Mm-hmm. But I did like how they did split the party.
Yes. But if you want to talk about the Slayer's take, and what happened there, the main points, and I'll just chime in on that one, and then I'll talk about Grog.
Honestly, one of my absolute favorite parts is when the Sphinx is breaking down everybody's like, oh, you have
Yes.
to rely on this, and basically is pointing out the shortcomings. We get
And
to
then they get to
Scanlan.
Scanlan.
I love that one so much. I'm like, this needs to be like a TikTok sound. It's like, look, I know I'm a little annoying. It's like, nobody cares about you. Not even me. Well, damn.
Because that's exactly what would get him.
It's like, that would get anybody. Like, I was even thinking me. It's like, if I was saying there's like, look, I know my faults. I know my problems. Like, yeah, nobody cares about you. Well, damn. You don't have to be that brutal. I think Scanlan got the most brutal treatment out of all of them.
It's okay. He deserved it.
He deserves it. And actually, what Sam does later on, oh, I still love all their reaction on the tabletop.
To what?
So way later on, Scanlan actually leaves the party for a time.
Okay,
And
I didn't know that.
what he does, because again, this is all in one session, is he has Scanlan leave the party, and then he has another character named Tyrion Darrington pop up in the same. This is the same episode, same session. So what he does in leaving is because basically what Vox Machina does is, I think Sam was like gone for a week, like
Okay.
IRL. So they just had him sleeping in the castle of Whitestone. And so before they left, Vax, the entire party is like, let's pull a prank on him. So like dressed him up in a moo, covered him in like brown pudding, and left him there. So when he comes back, Scanlan is pissed. And finally he like snaps. He's like, I'm done. You guys do not treat me with respect. You guys don't even care about me. And they're like, no, we care about you. And actually, this is when Scanlan's daughter pops up.
Oh, okay.
Scanlan has a daughter that pops up and basically says, I want to get to know my dad. Want to get to know you. And everybody in the party's like, no, don't trust her. She's just saying this. And they, even Percival goes to the daughter's like, your dad is such a screw up, and basically talks like he's full of crap, like talks that Scanlan's crap.
Yeah.
And so Scanlan like has it. He's just like, you guys think this, you guys do that. You guys treat me with no respect. You guys don't even care about me. And they're like, oh yeah, no, we care about you. He's like, oh yeah? What's my mother's name? What is my mother's name who died in front of me because of goblins that dramatically changed my life? What is her name? None of them could answer it. And he's just like, exactly. With that, I'm out, guys. And while he's packing up, Grog's like, I'm so sorry, buddy. I should have asked. He's like, what is your mother's name? And he gives it to him. And he's just like, I feel like Grog, I'm just like, Grog, you're the best friend. You're the best guy. Right? Because he's just like, he's like, I feel bad that I didn't know it. I feel so bad, and I'm so sorry. And so finally, Scanlan's like, it's okay. It's okay, buddy. Mm-hmm. So Scanlan leaves. They're all heartbroken. They're all just like, ugh. Then they go travel to another town because of Keyleth's stupid tree teleportation, which I feel bad for Matt. Matt hated that spell that I think he made it too. Because, okay, we both know from the DM side, you have to prep the world.
Yeah.
But usually, like early on, you just need to prep one small area, just like maybe one town. Know what's going on in that town. Matt had to know what's going on in the entire world because they could go anywhere.
Yep, and they would.
They would. They're like, okay, we're going to test. Is Matt prepared for this? And sure enough, he was.
Yeah.
So they go to town, and that's where Taryn Darrington is. And Taryn Darrington is like, again, tall, white, blonde guy. He has an automaton that follows him around. He's like, Dodie, take notes. I discovered these travelers as he's narrating his life in this book. And so Matt is describing the character, describing this guy that's coming in. And then sounds like, Dodie, take this down. And all of them, you just see them all, their eyes go wide, just the... Laura gets like thing of tissues trying to throw it at Sam.
Yes.
And he's just like, you freaking suck. And then Liam is just like, this is where like there is a gif of like Liam pulling out his heart, putting it on the table and doing one quick stab and then just repeatedly stabbing it. It's from that scene.
That's wonderful.
Like this is just where Scanlan might be one of the best and worst characters at the same time.
Yes.
He has one of the best character developments.
Yeah, and he's a character that I love and I hate. I cannot stand him, but if he's out of it, I would hate it. You love to hate him.
Exactly. It's just like, and actually Megan really likes Scanlan just because when he's not being gross, he's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
Which is like the only reason why people don't like him is just because he gets gross.
Yeah. Well, it's like in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Boyle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Where there's times where it's like, okay, great, you're a normal human being with funny things, and then, okay, just stop. That was just way too far.
Yeah. And
I understand. Scanlan. Yeah, it is. It's Scanlan. But it's one of those things where he's endearing. He is a very endearing character.
Yeah.
He's your little buddy that you're going to pick on because you're like, well, you just stop. But if anyone else picks on him, you're going to beat the tar out of them.
He's just like, we get to make fun of him. You don't.
Exactly.
Which I still love the whole Scanlan. Well, damn.
Nobody cares about you.
And then my favorite thing and how they ended the episode. Victor. They freaking brought Victor in, and it is Matt voicing him. I was so happy. As soon as Percy saw that side, I was like, oh. And then sure enough, I saw the white hair. I'm like, Victor!
He's the one at the shop, the explosive shop.
Yep, black powder merchant.
Yeah, black powder merchant. Blue
I
crystal
learned
at the
from
very
my
end.
mistakes. Inspirations for so many of my NPCs.
I know, right? Well, what's funny is there was an NPC that I had created for the campaign. He's
Mhm.
one of them on the Nokian Council.
Okay.
I and he basically that exact persona and look and all that is exactly what I pictured for him. I had never seen that part of the campaign. It's a stereotypical mad scientist who doesn't he realizes that they are a little too attached to their black powder and not attached to their fingers.
Or it's one of those more mad scientists who exercise more about learning and not enough about caution.
Yes. Yep. Oh man. But yeah, so that was fun. That was a good way to end it.
Yeah,
Buying the stuff and then it blowing up the
mm,
shop.
it burns down.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
But so Grog and the monk.
Yes. So after just from the party's perspective, Grog's gone for the entire theme. They're about to get in a fight with the entire or the entire guild, and they're just
Mhm.
like, "Where's Grog?" They realize he's not there, which says a lot about them as a group to begin with.
Mhm.
The biggest one is the quietest at the same time, or they just ignore him, because he's not quiet. But anyways, they go through everything. They come out and they finally find Grog, and he is beat to shit. He is just
Yeah.
destroyed. It's like, what happened to you? He goes, "Oh, I just got beat up by an old man." Best that
Oh
right
yeah.
there.
But honestly, what I love is like what splits them up. I love how the sword is trying to talk to him.
Yes.
He's like, hungry.
Oh, I am hungry.
I
Thanks,
am hungry.
stomach.
Thanks, stomach.
Demonic weapons.
Demonic
Essentially what.
weapon with a 6 intelligent barbarian.
Yup. So funny. It just made it so funny.
It just, it's preem. It is so good.
It is. And one of the things I really do love is that they've shown from the very start of episode one, I'm all the way through really as a peak here. But in episode three, it kind of goes into a little more about how the sword actually affects Grog.
Yeah.
Because he uses it once his axe breaks against a dragon in the first one. He then
Hmm.
starts using the sword, and whenever he does use it, you just see that look instantly. Like as soon as the blood absorbs into the sword, you just see that feral look in him,
Hmm.
and then that best word I can think of to describe it crescendos into the third episode. So let's talk about the third
Yep.
episode.
Now into the third episode where they're on their way. They're looking for the crypt of the Raven Queen. I'm just saying the Raven Queen because I know that's what it is in the tabletop.
Yeah,
I can't remember what the actual name is for her right now. But yeah, the matron of death or something.
yeah, goddess of death, I think is what they call her.
Yeah, because she is a goddess of death. Even in
Yep,
the tabletop D&D, like the Raven
yeah,
Queen is a goddess of death.
yep, yep. And I love that, like you talked about how Vex was Vex or Vax
Guy or girl?
guy
Guy Vax. The way
Vax.
actually Alec helped me remember it is Vax, VAX, A for like androgen.
Mm-hmm.
Vex, E for estrogen.
Oh, there
That
you go.
that's the way he helped me remind. So I always remember that. I'm like, oh, Vixalia, Vexeldon, okay, estrogen, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But anyways, with Vax, with how he's seeing glimpses of her throughout it, and then they get into the crypt. I go through all that. I mean, there's more to it than this, but the main points of what I want to cover.
Hmm.
So they get into there, and of course, Grog sets off every single
Single
trap,
trap.
which is amazing because the first one, oh, no one should trip on that. Steps on it on purpose. I feel like he did that on purpose in the tabletop, and
I
he had
think
to
he
have done
might
that.
have. I think actually what might have happened is he might have failed to save and activated the trap, and then of course Travis going with the characters like I meant to do that.
Yup.
Actually, okay, one thing I'm excited, it's not gonna happen until maybe next season when they're fighting, like, the Whispered One. One of the magic items they get is a jar. It's like a jar of filling. Like, it just
Okay.
fills up with liquid.
Okay.
What? So, like, he's like, Grog, that's one of my favorite moments of Grog. He just sits around, he's like, "Yeah, no, last night I was just holding this pot, and I was like, man, I could really use some ale." And it filled up with ale. And like, "Oh, wow, so it just fills up with alcohol?" It's like, "No, I also said mayonnaise, and it filled up with mayonnaise." And "And what'd you do with the mayonnaise?" "Oh, I ate that too."
Uh, yeah,
And
that's
so
funny.
the And so Matt's just beginning to bust, like, he loses it. He's just bust up laughing. He's like, "I am just picturing, like, a sad Grog just winning the pooing, just just scooping the mayo out with his hand and just eating
Yes.
it."
Yup. Oh, that's wonderful.
Like, Grog
I
just
can
gets
just
better.
picture it. He does. I love Grog. Grog is by far my favorite character in the entire campaign of the
Oh,
first
yeah.
campaign. I Most of the characters get on my nerves.
Yeah. I'll say there's a couple characters that do get on my nerves, but I still like them. Like, honestly, one of my
Yeah,
favorite characters is still Parsival.
yeah,
Like, Parsival is still one of my favorite characters.
I agree.
And Grog is always that awesome comedic relief.
He is.
Like,
He's one of
even
those. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, even during the Briarwoods arc, one of my favorite things that Travis did was just like, okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go door to door. Are you so and so? Are you so and so? And so what he does is like door to door. Hi, would you like to talk about our Lord and Savior? My X in your face.
That's so great. He does a barbarian right.
Yes, he
So many
does.
people do it too dumb, and he is extremely dumb. He is extraordinarily dumb, but he makes it funny. He doesn't do things to sabotage the group unless it's funny. So like stepping on traps, and it's most time due to a bad roll. Whereas, yeah, and it's just he just plays it in such a great way
Oh yeah.
where he's a simpleton, but he's still a character. He's still a person that you could relate to.
Exactly. It's very much like the way Grog is done is yeah, he is still the stupid barbarian. But
Yes.
he's not someone you're going to talk down to. You're someone you're still going to talk to him, and then he's going to say something dumb. You're like, what?
Exactly.
So a lot of
Yeah.
people from California. Anyway,
Uh,
that balances me out. I promote a gay relationship, and then I bash on California. I even myself out. True equality.
I thought it was about equity.
I guess that too. I'll tell you what I was thinking of after the channel because I don't want to get shot.
Okay.
Anyway.
Moving on. So I also really enjoyed this side of things with Vex and Vax, where they went kind of more into their backstory, and this was
Yes.
leading up to this very big moment, um, and just showing how Vax recognizes that he can't live without Vex, but
Hmm.
Vex can very easily live without him. She doesn't need him, but he needs
Yeah.
her, and that's my main source of irritation with Vax is how
He's so
dependent he is. It's kind of
yeah.
creepy.
Yeah, it is. And honestly, this is where what happens at the end of the episode is a good thing for him
Yes.
because this very much shows on like how much trouble he can get in because of his codependency.
Yes.
But but again, that's what I think this season is going to mostly be about is Vex and Vax.
Yeah.
Because going into their backstory from basically if you watch the first episode of the season of their other campaign, Thordak is actually the dragon that kills their mother.
Okay.
So this season is about those two.
Yeah.
Just like last season was about Percy. And I would say Percy and Pike. It's mostly about those two.
It was.
I'm saying we're going to also get a little bit more into. We should get into a little bit more about Grog.
Yeah, well, it's already started because it's already started introducing his story with things.
Yeah. So it should get more into it and more about his clan, his tribe, because his tribe actually sides with one of the dragons.
Ooh, that makes it fun.
So yeah, he actually has to go fight. I believe the guy's name is Kevdak. So I'm expecting to see him sometime this season.
Okay.
So that's something we get to look forward to.
Yes.
So my quick beef in the fight underneath the crypt is when Pike summons the armor underwater. She should be sinking like a rock, but she's floating to the top.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that's where I'm just like, it's an animation. It's not real. They're not trying to go for realistic. They're going for what's going to be cool. Which again, DM's rule of cool. All right,
exactly.
I'm fine with it. It's just like one of those things. Just like I think it would have been cool if they like leaned into it, just like have her summon the armor and she just drops on top of like the merfolk and just had him sink and then beats the living crap out of him. Then desummons the armor and swims back up to the top.
Yeah. That would have been, but I think the way they did it for time and for everything
still
was done really great. Honestly, it didn't bug me when I watched it. I noticed it.
Yeah,
I was like, meh, that's okay.
I'll say again, I make it sound like it bugged me. It really didn't. Okay. It was just one of those things of just like, it should have sank. I want to see some armor disadvantage. If anything, it's more that.
That makes sense. But when you're talking about where things aren't as they are in D&D, the thing I really enjoyed is that they're sitting there fighting the mage and not landing any hits on them. And then I got distracted, and then she was able to one-shot it in the back of the head. Beautifully done because it made it more realistic, but it still kept to that feel of D&D where it's this big battle, and then someone gets, how do you want to do this?
Yes, it very much is like that. And it's one of those, and again, that's actually one thing I enjoyed with the first season when they did the fight with the blue dragon.
Yes.
When they had that music going and then it finishes off with Grog in rage and he finishes it.
Yes.
I got goosebumps.
I did too. I love that part. That was such an amazing part. And one thing I did love that they did is that because Grog hadn't raged before then, they waited for that moment to do the rage, and since then he's tried it so many times, and it rarely works.
Yep.
And it helps him to survive a little bit more, but he gets his trash beaten every time he's rage since.
Oh yeah.
And I love that because it shows rage isn't a one-all fit, like I'm going to win every time.
Yeah.
It just, I love that. They introduced it and now they're showing what it is.
They can show what it does. And actually, I love what they did in the first episode because when they meet that green dragon, Grog does go into a rage as you see him sprint off and destroys his axe.
Yep.
And it's one of those tools that DMs actually will use to help counter something that is overpowered.
Yeah.
It's because, barbarian able to smack things. Yeah. Rage can barely take damage. Let's take away his axe. Let's see what it can do now.
Yep.
But I love the flashbacks. I love how this is more gearing towards Vex and Vax. Like, and Vax was, again, for me, he's just like, he is one of my favorite characters. He just has moments where I'm like, okay, not the biggest fan. I still like you.
Anything revolving his sister, I get annoyed with. Everything else, I enjoy.
Yeah. Which in the tabletop, they weren't that codependent. Because actually, the inspiration for those two characters is because I believe Liam and Laura have the same birthday.
Oh, fun.
So that's why when they did this, they're like, okay, let's make twins. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's great. I thought it was a great way to do it. And it was cool that one of the things I really liked about the first campaign is that people they made their group of friends and they all went in different ways. Because Laura and Travis are married.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything together in this first campaign. Instead, like other people like Travis and whoever plays Pike, I can't remember her name.
Ashley Johnson. Yep, yeah. Ashley Johnson.
They were set up with their backstory together, and then spoilers. Laura with her character ends up marrying Percival, and with everything with that, and it's just how all the dynamics are so different. I really appreciate that. I thought it was really cool and really well done.
Yeah, and that's one thing I give major props to is because that's always one thing I worry about whenever I do like a D&D tabletop RPG kind of stuff is when people do their characters they like are trying to pursue a romance with another character in the group. I
Yeah,
know a lot of people like sorry, this is where human like we make wrong mistakes and judgments is
yeah,
that they get jealous, they get envious because in a fictional world a character they made up is being enticed by a random character who that's not who they're married to.
exactly.
Like I understand like again it's very much it's kind of a worry a lot of people have with actors is like when they actors go on television they have to do a spicy scene
Yeah,
with someone who isn't their significant other.
yeah,
And this is where I give them major props for the way they approach it. To where actually recently, okay, I've been getting a lot of memes because Campaign 3 apparently did something way crazy out there. They staged an orgy.
okay.
Like that's taking it too far. So again, reason why I'm saying this is because like I'm on like Twitter, Facebook, whatever. I'm on social media, and all of a sudden, like one of the scenes that gets memed is an episode from Community.
Okay.
Troy is coming in with pizza, and immediately, like the apartments, it's on fire. People are getting beat up. Like it's just pure
Yes.
chaos. It's just
Yep.
Matt as a DM looking at the entire thing. It's just like Travis trying to start an orgy. Matt's wife Marisha's character is starting to undress. Like it's just like ferns are ready, clothes are gone. It's just like,
That's hilarious.
which again, I don't think any friend group has said, yeah, we did a pretend orgy.
I mean,
There's
I
a
know
line.
ours has it.
I know ours has it. I don't think it ever will.
Probably not.
I think the closest thing I've done in a tabletop is I had a character who had a wild night. Woke up in a
Yeah.
dumpster covered in just garbage.
The closest that ours got, it was one of them that Matt was running.
Mm-hmm.
All of our characters, it was just kind of a downtime episode,
Mm-hmm.
a session, and we all ended up getting married. We had a joint wedding. Everyone got married.
It's a Vegas wedding, baby.
Yup. The best though, the absolute best was that. So Jace's character, it was a rogue that could shadow walk,
Okay.
and so he was breaking into people's homes and he was trying to like steal a bunch of stuff. Well, Matt decided that he was gonna try and embarrass him, and so he breaks into a house and there's a girl in a bathtub. So he seduces her. Now she's married. He married her.
We're bringing back polygamy now.
No, somehow, basically ended up that he died. That her husband was dead somehow. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. I was like, that's all you need. All right. Was this
That was the
character
craziest.
was this character named David by some coincidence?
Probably.
And her name was Beth.
How did you know? She went by Sheba.
Man, love these conversations.
All right.
But yeah,
anyways,
episode 3, good action. I did again what you brought up with Grog, how the sword begins to affect him. In the again, actually, I'm pretty sure we're going to see this later on. But yeah, the sword really gets to him because. So I believe the stats with the sword is like you once you do make a hit, you have to make another roll to see if it does do extra damage.
yeah.
And Grog was getting to the point where he would get them like he would get 3 in a row. Like if he get 5, it would actually physically transform.
Oh.
So if he goes 3 at a time, if he does 3 in a row, but it resets after a long rest. He went without sleep. For I think like in game time, he went without sleep for like a week.
Oh man.
Not quite a week. It wasn't quite a week. It was like 2-3 days.
Okay.
Reason why is because like, oh yeah, I'll be fine. As soon as I rage, all those all those stat blockers go away. That's what was his rationalization for it. So what happens is, I believe he finally gets to the point where it does transform and it really messes with him, where he actually begins turning on the party. And that's where there's a great intervention.
Yep.
Which I'm excited for that scene because Percival does something really cool.
Don't spoil it.
I'm not going to spoil it. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this gets adapted.
Yeah. So the episode 3 finale.
Oh my gosh. It's done so good.
It is. So just a quick synopsis of it. Like I said, it talks about how dependent Vax is on Vex. Well, due to all the traps and Grog's shenanigans, they get separated. And he always tells her, stay close to me. And so they can't. Goes through, they end up back together at the very end, and then Vax goes down into a hole to start looking at things and try to understand stuff about where the vestige is. Percy uncovers where the vestige is and sets off a trap, and the trap kills Vex.
Yeah. It kills Vex. Which, it's so good. So this is kind of the funny thing with Critical Role and with D&D in general, is you will get characters that die.
Yep.
Quite a bit. In fact, actually, in Critical Role, I believe every character dies at least once. Every character does. So actually, while the episodes were coming out, of course, Critical Role, huge fan art community. Just like, that's one of the coolest things with this. They have such a cool fan art, just cool community called Critters. And one of them was somebody got like, I died and all I got was this dumb t-shirt. And drew all the characters that had died wearing that shirt. Like Pike, I believe, was technically the first one to die. That's why her hair is white. Her hair was originally black.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because she got killed by like a demon, and thus the Everlights came in to save her, and that's where like she really became more devout that way. Okay. Then I can't remember who dies next. I think the stupidest death is still Keyleth because she was so dumb.
Well, I still love in the finale, like the actual ending, that Scanlan dies like 3 times in a row.
I think so. Something like that.
I know at least twice. I remember because each time Matt lets them give their last words.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the times he gets turned to stone, and so he goes, "I will go out of this life the way I came into it, hard." Really? And then he's brought back, and then he says another quip that's like basically the exact same line because he's dying a very similar way, like he's frozen or something. And it was just really
say Keyleth's dumb death is what they just turned 17, and they're basically, because the entire thing's like, once you hit a certain level of D&D, you're basically like a god, okay? Because you got crazy abilities. I believe that's around level 17. So that happened. She jumps off the side of a cliff that says, "We're basically gods," and dies. Jumps off I want to say it was like a 200-foot cliff. And gets insta-killed because as she goes down, because she's like, "Oh, there's water at the bottom." And it's like, it's shallow. Are you at least going to turn to something? She's like, "I'll turn into a goldfish." So she dies instantly. But no, great. Vex's death, like, and I love Vex's reaction to it.
Yeah.
Although, I believe one of Scanlan's deaths earlier on, I want you to watch the episode because it has a special guest that I know you love.
Who?
Patrick Rothfuss.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he is a guest star on Critical Role Vox Machina.
Nice. Okay.
So yeah,
I saw that he had went on at one point.
Yeah, and dude, okay, this is where Patrick Rothfuss, when he guest stars, you know he's big. He does big.
All right.
Because at one point, because again, I believe for the finale, they got all their guest stars to come back to do the fight against Vecna.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. One things he does prior to, like after he leaves, like again, actually after Rothfuss leaves to go back home from guest
Yeah.
starring, he actually leaves behind a note in character,
Oh, cool.
records it, gives it to Matt and say, play this when they read the note.
That's cool.
So that way it'd be like they're just thematically. It's just
Yeah.
one of those things. It's like Rothfuss, you did a good job.
He is a showman.
He very much embodies Kavoth in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Definitely can see that.
There's a couple guest stars I don't think came back for that. Like John Heder, I don't think ever came back on. I think he just did one episode.
Okay.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
no,
There's
so
just so many great things. But I think it was a great way to end the episode and end the first 3 episodes, the first segment.
I had a feeling that's how they were going to end it. And when they did, I'm just like, oh, best way to end it. A lot of people, again, I know a lot of people don't like it just because it is what it is. But I personally, I still love it just because it makes you feel. Like after it, Megan turns to me, is just like, is she dead? And I'm just like, do you want spoilers? Because again, Megan will talk like during the stuff. It's like, does this happen? Does that happen? And I'm just like, do you want spoilers? Because I know this.
Yep. No, Ashley does the same thing. She's not watching Vox Machina, but we actually started Fairy Tale.
Oh, okay.
And so she gets to it, and she's like, "What happens? Tell me." We just got to the point where Leo, where it's revealing his backstory, and he's about to die. Like he's getting like prepared to die, and it ends, and then we haven't been able to watch since. She's like, "Does he die? Just tell me what happens." I'm just like, "Spoiler, just tell me." Okay.
I need to know. I got to know.
Yep. But all right.
But no,
I think that about sums it up though for the show.
Oh yeah, and I'm so excited for next week. This is finally a show I'm excited about. Oh, I'm so happy.
I know, that's so great. And
yeah,
2 months we get the next big one, Dungeons and Dragons.
the movie.
I'm so excited for that.
Oh, me too.
But this next week is going to be awesome. I'm excited to keep going with the Chroma Conclave.
Oh, me too. Chroma Conclave, I think, is my favorite arc in the Vox Machina series. Like, it's done so well. And sorry, it's actual dragons. Like, it's dungeons and actual dragons.
Yup, I love it. Well, I think that's a good place to put the bookmark in, and we'll pick the book back up next week.
We'll pick up the show next week. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in.